everybody. we're
You
back.
turned on your freaking show personality like that, baby.
We got to get started here.
That's right.
Eric and I are talking about business.
Yeah, before we even start the podcast.
Before we talk about business.
That's right.
But anyway, that's what we do. But we're here on another beautiful day in Northwest Arkansas. It's going to be in the 50s.
Oh, it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
I need a little warmth, man. Me too. My feet were a little chilly this morning. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, bud. I slipped on my ass.
Did you bust your ass?
The other night, I walked down to this house that we bought. It's next door to next door.
Uh-huh.
And I walked down there just to check to see that the front door was locked. And I stepped off this walk, okay? I thought it was one step and it was two. And I went down, dude. And I'm almost 67 years old.
You know, it's funny, but it's not funny.
I know, but, you know, I'm at the point where, like, you fall down and you die.
No, I know. That's why it's not funny to me.
Jamie Hunt died. I think he was like 68. Hit his head on the ice.
Yeah.
But
isn't that crazy?
It is.
But yeah, you need to be careful, bro.
Anyway, I fell, you know, the first thing I do is I call my wife. I fell, honey. Do you need me to come down there to get you? No, I think I'll be okay.
But I fell.
So anyway, that night, you know, I woke up in the middle of the night and my wrist hurt so bad.
Oh, shit.
I was like, good God, it's my right wrist. I'm going to be paralyzed. I won't be able to do anything tomorrow. Okay. It's just horrible. It was so painful. And I got up. When I woke up the next day, I was completely fine. I'm like, I cannot believe it. I was in so much pain. I thought I'd be crippled. Yeah. I'm like, what am I going to have to get a cast?
Yeah.
You know, go through PT or whatever.
And she woke up and you're good.
Oh, God, I was fine. You know?
It's because you're a freaking machine, man.
Dude, I don't know about that. But yeah, this ice, I'm ready. I'm with you. I'm ready to be warm.
Yeah, man.
So today's going to be a beautiful day. We're in Northwest Arkansas. We were just talking about Eric's new house project that he's building, which is exciting. It's more than a house. It's a compound. It's going to be the Howerton family compound. And he's up on this hill.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing. Every time I go to the airport, I'm going to drive past your house and I'll think of you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what it's going to look like in a couple of years. You know, because we're going to do a lot of trees, you know, tree roll right there that kind of blocks the road a little bit, knock down the noise, but it's going to be so nice. Lots more trees going up, man. And native trees. I know you don't get into this much, but I'm a big environmentalist.
Weeds.
We're
talking about
I love weeds.
Giant weeds.
Hey, listen. Here's the deal. Native species of trees and grasses and plants that are designed for our soil, our temperature, they're hardier, get better erosion control, great for the insects,
don't need to irrigate it,
great for the animals, great for the water quality, great for the air, great for everything.
So you're
100% great.
You're going to have this massive compound in freaking Arkansas with weeds all around it. Is that what you're telling me?
There will be some weeds, like there's weeds everywhere. But if you do native, it actually cuts down on the weeds a lot because, you know why? Here's the thing. Here's what I realized.
Okay.
After working on this compound, so you say, a lot of earthwork, a lot of grubbing and all that type of stuff. What I've noticed is that if you grub the soil and you go out and you put the fescue or Bermuda, the non-native grasses, the weeds win. Yeah. They come in, baby.
No, they do.
And they dominate because they're native. They're freaking, unless you got some invasive weeds. But the native invasive weeds or the native weeds come in and dominate the cute little grass seeds that we have.
If you weren't so cheap and you actually bought Bermuda sod, one of the great things about it is nothing gets through that stuff.
Well, I have used the Bermuda sod in my portions,
but no,
because I have to establish.
I understand. You're right, though. I get it.
But the thing is, if you go with native grasses and you seed it, I mean, you can start beating the weeds. The whole challenge is fighting weeds, man.
It is.
But weeds win because they're freaking like, dude, I love this nasty clay dirt that nothing can grow in.
Everything seems to grow here in Arkansas. I mean, our variety of plant species is mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like you go to Texas, 200 miles away.
Yeah.
And they have about a third of what we have here in terms of variety.
Oh, it's fantastic here.
It's really different.
And I love the native trees. You know, I mean, all that stuff is just going to flourish. You're going to drive by and it's going to be Arkansas again.
Yeah.
I don't want, I'm different
Arkansas.
Dude, listen, I'm different than you. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like here, my wife gets on to me. She's like, you know, why don't you do anything around our house that we live at now? I'm like, because it's too effing small. It's too cute. It's too small. It's too perfect. Let somebody else come in and weedy cutely pick up the little fake bark that we have around the shrubs and clip the shrubs and, you know, mow it down to the perfect little 1.5 inches. Yeah. I'm out.
I love that.
I don't do any of that.
I love all that.
Out of that. But you give me a field and a brush hog, tractor, dozer. Not a dozer. I'm not qualified to be on a dozer.
I don't know how you drive all the stuff you've got. You bought all that equipment.
I love it, dude.
Okay.
I'm
sure
there.
you have more fun with that.
Oh, dude, I was out there yesterday. All right. Dude, it's so escaping. I go out there, you know, hard day yesterday, lots of meetings, a lot of yip yapping and freaking. I'm exhausted. My brain's
right. You're in.
It's just driving crazy. I'm getting pissed off more and more throughout the day because what we were talking about earlier is nobody can understand what we were saying.
Yeah.
You know, for over and over again. Anyway, we'll get on that in a second. But so I go out and I'm like, I'm going to take this mound of base rock that I have down here at the bottom. I'm going to take it up to the top of the hill to add a little bit more so I can drive all the way to the edge of the hill in my truck and overlook the beauty.
Yeah, you got a beautiful site.
It's a beautiful view.
You're on top.
And I needed like 20 more feet that I had to be able to drive on.
Sure.
So all I did yesterday for about an hour and a half.
Right, pick up gravel, haul it up.
Go up, go back down. I did like, I don't know, 10 or 12 loads like that. It was
gratifying, wasn't it?
Dude, it's so gratifying. It was so wonderful.
You know, you don't really, I don't think you're going to have much road noise as high off the road as you are.
Not when you're up top. No.
Okay, you're not going to have that much noise.
It's just for the air brakes.
Or the
rednecks that come by.
The Jake brakes.
Either the Jake brakes or the Billy. Old Billy Badass comes by.
Okay, he's got the giant diesel dually, and then with the aftermarket exhaust on it.
Yeah, it's the exhaust. It's not the dually. And they just rev it.
Yeah,
you know, I had a dude the other while back, man, came by. You love this. Came by, picked up one of the contractors at my place that were working. His car or something broke down. So he had to get a ride. This dude that comes and drops him off, right, to get him back to his car. It was like, I think it was like 5 o'clock in the evening. It was in the summer. Drops him off, no big deal. This dude that dropped him off continues to just starts peeling out right there on the highway. Does like 4 donuts. In a souped up hot rod, like, you know, 1990 freaking Trans Am or whatever. I mean, just tearing it up, just for no reason, and then almost runs off the freaking embankment, throwing gravel right in my driveway, man.
Totally,
completely unnecessary. But at the same time, there's a part of me that goes, I like that. That's awesome.
My last house in Boston, I lived in Dover, Mass. I was right on the Charles River. My next door neighbor was Pierre DuPont V.
Oh.
And the guy across the street from me owned a shopping mall in Bangkok. Yeah. So just to give you the idea of the neighborhood. Yeah. Anyway, so I used to always hang out at this one bike shop, motorcycle shop. I'd go there at lunch and work on my bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
They did a lot of stuff. It was great. It would take me back. I could just escape for an hour or two. And I had my own stand over there and all. It was just awesome.
Beautiful.
So they had this one guy, Chuck. Chuck was like 28, total screw up. Okay. Yeah. Good motorcycle mechanic.
Yeah.
And so one night it's like 11:30, 11:45, and I hear this out in front of my house.
Evening.
Yeah, in the evening. And I hear this out in front of my house. And there's some guy out there doing burnouts on his motorcycle. And then like 15 minutes later, I get Chuck's texting me, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did, dude.
You're
Not
really
cool.
really
but kinda
classing up the neighborhood.
Not
Dude.
cool, but kind of cool.
Well, anyway, we got to talk about something serious today.
Yeah. Yeah, our big topic today is entrepreneurship and family, basically. I mean, I forget what we call it exactly, but
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
it's the official your family and your business.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a
Yes.
big topic. I got a little history quote here that I think goes along with this, but it's not going to make sense right off the gate. But I think that as our discussion goes on, it'll make some sense.
Okay.
One of my favorite quotes by any entrepreneur of all time was by none other than John D. Rockefeller.
Right. I know you love him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a champion.
Yeah.
Period. Right. But he said,
You're the John D. Rockefeller of today.
"Come on, baby. Come on. You're just egging me on, dude." He said, "I have trouble sleeping. I have trouble going to sleep every night for the amount of debt that I owe." Are you listening this morning? Okay, because I know you can't multitask.
I am listening. He's got trouble sleeping because of his debt. Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
He says, "I have trouble going to sleep every night because of the amount of money that I owe other people."
Right. I think you gave us this quote before.
I probably did. But then I wake up looking to borrow more.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. It's true.
So, but for
Does midnight heebie-jeebies that you get?
Oh, 2 a.m. or
Oh,
3.
dude, I'm
It's
telling
always
you.
during the nighttime.
The other night I woke up, I swear, just like you're talking about, it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I just started making lists of all the things that I have to do and all the decisions that need to be made.
That's a smart move.
It
So
just-
did you, let's
I
take,
just rep-
like, so you're sleeping. Of course, you're
Yeah.
beautiful when you sleep, I know.
Oh, yeah,
You-
right.
I mean, you're like
beautiful.
you're an angel.
Like all 67-year-old guys. I got my flannel jammies.
Oh, you're looking good.
Yeah.
Right, obviously.
Yeah, the
Sleeping.
tops at least match the bottoms, but yeah.
Perfect, man. So you're looking good, sleeping beautifully. You wake up at 2 a.m., start thinking about all the stuff you do. Like, literally, what did you do? Did you get up and out of bed and then go work on your task list? Did you lay there, get on your phone and start adding tasks? What
Well,
did you do?
first off, I got up because, being an old guy with a prostate condition, every time you wake up, you got to go take a leak.
Okay.
Thankfully, I've got a urinal in my master bath and I can just kind of lean against the wall, okay? I don't have to be too precise. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, listeners. That was one of the questions.
then I went back to bed and sat there, though, and did my work.
And but on your phone.
Yeah.
So you just started writing down the tasks of shit that
Yes.
you got to get done
Yes.
for the next day.
Yes. Decisions that need to be made and tasks that need to be done.
Just in a bullet point list.
Yep.
Just on your notes on your
Yep.
phone.
Yep.
No
Exactly.
sophisticated AI system.
No.
Just write the shit down.
And then last night, I just went back through and re-edited my list of everything I got done yesterday.
Did you check the things
I
off?
did, of course.
So when you check them off, does it auto go down and like goes down to
Yeah.
a completed task thing?
Yeah, of course.
So you just have one notes that's just constantly being added to and checked off.
That's right.
I just always find this so amazing. Like to me, like the hardest thing about business is how are you organized? How do you do all the things that need to get done, plan to get them all done? But you're kind of like this, you have this interesting way of doing things, like where you just knock it off. Like it's,
I do
like
move fast. I do. I can make a decision and I move fast. I still can be there at 7:30 watching, The Diplomat or if you haven't seen the Billy Bob Thornton show.
Oh, the Landman? Yeah, I've been watching.
Oh, I figured you must love Billy Bob Thornton. Okay. But I still have plenty of time to do all the other stuff that I want.
So, but you watch shows and you do your list. You just kind of keep knocking shit off.
Absolutely.
Dude, I remember one time, a long time when I worked with you as White,
Yeah.
and you were you would always come in and sit in your office, right? And I'd already be there, of course. I beat you in the morning.
Yeah, we were good. I never should have let you go, but anyway.
But
Should have chained you to your desk.
that's right. But you'd come in and you would have your computer, your big desktop here, and your laptop and stuff. But then you'd lean back in your chair like this, and you just get on your BlackBerry, and you just sit there and just start cranking off emails. And I remember you'd always, like, there'd be multiple times This one time in particular, like, oh my God, I have 350 effing emails. What the hell is going on? And you're just killing them off. Just sitting there and you would tell me, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And you're just, trying to talk to me as you're doing it. And then I pulled out my phone and I started seeing email. I was like, does it bother you when you get so many emails? And you get it and you reply back, yes. And I'm like, and you hate it when people respond to you and keep you on replying to you.
Reply to all.
Yeah,
reply to all. That's terrible.
I'll reply back and ask you that. Like, is this bothering you? How many more times do I do
While
this?
we're sitting there.
While we're sitting there and you're killing these people, like, you got so freaking, you just got so irate about that. It was hilarious to me, though. It's funny to watch you react.
You can get a lot done. And I mean, we're going to talk today a little bit about balancing family and work and all. But I mean, just like this morning, I get a texting with Grant. Janice. First thing every day. Okay. He's Grant. He's the first person I talk to, usually the last person I talk to.
Yeah.
He's like, we got this resume. Check this out. When we're looking for somebody in the business. And we ran an ad yesterday and we had a bunch of resumes. They weren't very good because this one looks really good. And I looked at it and I'm like, you're right. I go, you want me to contact her? He goes, yeah, if you want to. So boom, I immediately sent an email out to the woman. Like, I'd love to talk with you today. And, she responded and I've got that set up. But I mean, that was like in between the time I threw my jammies down into the dirty clothes laundry chute that we have at our house. Just the greatest feature there ever was. It just drops your laundry right into the laundry room down below. And, and I turned my shower on and waiting for it to warm up.
And you're on your phone tech.
Yeah, and I was not just on my phone. I mean, I got the resume. I looked at the resume. I asked Grant if he wanted me to contact him. And I sent the email out before I ever even got in the shower. That all took place in about 75 seconds.
It's beautiful.
Okay. I mean, people can do more than they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This whole idea of, I do this one job and I can't do anything else. I just had this conversation with one of my former students last night who owns a business.
Yeah.
Okay. And so he's had the business for, let's say, 2 years and he's already trying to get out of it. And hire manager and all these other people. It's like, well, I just want to be the owner of it while I work on this other thing. I'm like,
you can't.
Too early. Okay, I'm going to give you some old man advice right now. You can't do that.
No.
Okay, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Stepping out that early. I said, you need to do both of your jobs.
It's just the reality to it.
You can do both of them and do them both well.
Hey, I hate the fact of that.
You've been there. You know,
exactly how many times I've tried to kind of not do as much. You know how many times I've tried to not be engaged, not participate in decisions, and that's kind of a,
it's a battle.
It's an interesting thing, seriously. Like the thought process that we have, I guess it's baked into our brain through all the systematic education, all the big societal type of the right
culture.
Way to the culture.
Yeah.
And you're beating your head, and your advertisements that you see all the time are people chilling, relaxing, enjoying life, taking the easy path, all is well. You take a pill for that. You take a pill for this. Everything's good. It's just not the truth.
It's not.
It is. We are 100% in a struggle bus, man. From the day you're born to the day you die, damn it. And whenever I get in that mindset, I'm like, oh, well, cool. That's how I'm supposed to do it. And so I've learned to go that all the other shit is a lie.
But Eric, here's the thing. You don't need to do that. You could decide right now, I'm never going to work again. I'm going to live whatever was within my means. And I'm sure yours would be pretty good. Okay. As could I. All right. Although I'm not as well off as you are. But we still choose. We still choose to work like that. It's yesterday. I was all day at this house we bought down the street.
Yeah.
Unscrewing stuff on walls and cutting into drywall, looking for wires and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this.
I know.
Why?
I know.
And we put all this money into it. Okay. And I'm like, should we really put all our money into that? Why? It's a lot of money.
Why
just keep spending money on that? You know,
But
why
every time you spend more money on something, it has more work for you to do. It's like this but the reality to it is like,
it's the way we're wired.
is it?
It is. We're going to keep working like that. Look, here's the truth for our listeners. And you know this is true. And if you want to be successful, you must be obsessed with what you're doing.
Obsessed.
Super critical. Not just like I do it if I do it because I have to, or I do it because that's what I think I'm supposed to do. You got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
And secondly, you need to put the time in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It does take time. And there will be trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything else, any other way to do it. I'm going to be obsessed. I'm going to work my ass off, and there's going to be trade-offs.
Here's the thing, Mark.
Okay?
The reality is you're going to do that till the day you die, because guess what? That's who you effing are. That is who you are. That's what like your mark is on the earth. That is your re-gift and your responsibility to your bloodline, man.
Yes.
I mean, like there's
Yes.
What's the point, honestly? What is the point of living on this earth and not doing everything that you possibly can to contribute?
To make things better, to improve things.
Like, do you really think that you're designed and born here on this earth so that you can just chill out, bro?
Consume resources,
just
suck up air?
Just chilling, man. Just chilling. Trying to always work hard to find the easiest way and make,
People aren't happy to do that.
No, they're miserable.
They're not happy.
Because guess what? You're working for something that's a freaking lie. And by the way, you were designed to struggle just like every other effing freaking insect, animal, weed, sunrise, raindrop on the entire freaking planet. And it's the truth. That's the truth. Everything struggle. That's why I love nature. You know what I love about working on the land? You can go out there and you clean this. Now, I'm not talking about freaking Shady Valley, okay? And I can say Shady Valley, which because I live there.
I call it Shallow Valley.
Or Shallow, or...
No, but it's nice here.
Right. Well, yeah,
it's a beautiful...
Gated, whatever, nice lawns.
No,
I'm not talking about that. But even then, it's still some truth. But you can go out in the woods, clear, clean, take off, get...
Limb the trees.
Limb the trees. Right. Take care. And you look at it, it's like, damn, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I swear to you.
And then you come back.
You come back 2 months later, and it's just like all the weeds and the tears of
branches are on the ground.
They're freaking, just
it's so true. It's a constant state that you're in.
Constant chaos, constant cleanup, constant championship.
Yes.
He who works harder wins. And there's pride in that. There's honor in that. There's legacy in that.
There's satisfaction
in that.
Gratification.
I get it. It's hard, man. Like, dude, like literally when we talk about work-life balance here or integration, this is literally how I kind of think of it. Well, this is just the reality that happens to me. Mm-hmm. I work as hard as I possibly can until I can't.
Right.
And then I take a break.
Right.
And then I come back and continue to work hard. It's like,
exactly.
It's kind of like training for a freaking race. Yeah. Do you go out there? Can you really run a good race and win if you just walk the mile? No. Or do you have to jog it? And if you can't jog the whole thing that one time, you still have to do as hard as you have to push and push and push and push.
Yes.
In order to win.
Yes.
So you just work until you're freaking tired.
Right.
Like I've tricked myself. I've tried to balance things and I've tried to take time off. Only thing that I've found by taking time off is that I become worthlessly lazy and I start falling into this pattern of society where I start seeing myself and I'm like, who the hell am I? Like, am I going to wither and die here? I'm just getting fatter.
You get depressed.
I get depressed.
Just when we had all that storm and everything, I was just laying around the house and one day I slept later because of course I was up in the middle of the night, but I'm I'm just like, what? Why am I, what's wrong with me? This is terrible.
It's terrible.
Okay. And got my butt back in gear and started getting stuff done. But
you have to do it, man.
It's so true. So I mean, it's funny you say that because last night in the middle of the night, again, I was up and I was responding. Company I'm involved with.
Yeah.
On the board, one of the owners, minor owner of. But anyway, the CEO is texting me about our banking relationship that we have. And, I immediately was sending out emails to respond to him, the CFO, and then a guy that's helping us find a new bank out there. And so he's like, what? She goes, God bless, what are you doing? She goes, you're always on your phone these days, And I'm like, this is important. We're down to survival here. Okay.
That's when you kick in, baby.
It's like, I'm not going to wait. What am I going to wait till I get up and take my shower and then go do my drive to deliver the kid to school, then go to my podcast and then meet my contractors. Then maybe if I remember, I'll do it. No, this is going to be dealt with now. Okay. Boom. It's not going to take me forever though.
No, it's not.
It's not a big deal. Okay.
So on the balancing with the family.
Yeah.
Here you are, crazy train, doing work in the middle of the night, and your wife, like there is something to be, like you have to navigate that.
Oh, yeah,
I'm getting better at navigating.
Sure. Like, we're both on wife number 3, so.
Well, okay,
No,
so my credit, I'm on
You're
2.
2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
But
Well, at least you made a better decision on number 2. But anyway, I'll leave that alone.
But, there is something about like, there is this tension
Yeah.
between an entrepreneur who is living the life that we're talking about here of winning, of work for all the things that we talked about, not because we're trying to make things easier. We're actually complicating things.
Exactly. On
Always.
a daily basis. Yeah. You're right.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine, like, I frustrate my wife and like literally all the time. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest with myself and everybody on the planet, if my wife
Sure.
listens to this, I'm sorry, babe. I know I frustrate you. I
Yes.
cannot help it though.
Sure.
I cannot help it because we're always,
I understand.
every time I talk to her about any decision I'm making in business, like I actually had a conversation with her a couple of days ago about, some important decisions. She's like, and her comment was, I don't like that idea because what you're telling, what's going to happen is you're going to do that. And that's just going to open up opportunities for more ideas that you have. And you're going to start something else. And I'm like, no, babe, that's not, that's not going to happen this time. That's not what I'm trying to do. But she's right, because that's what always happens.
Sure.
Like anytime that there's a little space,
You're going to fill it and then some. I know. I swear I did. I get it 100%.
Yeah.
But, I think we talked about this before on the show, though, and we also did with our spouses. Your situation with your spouse and mine is totally different. My wife did own her own business.
Yeah.
She came out of a family that had multiple businesses.
Yes.
And she really understands. Like, she does not complain.
Yeah.
And she can also make a financial decision very quickly without a lot of delay, which I love.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I had to ask her about something that it's no big deal, but it was helping somebody out and co-signing for a $200,000 loan. Okay.
Yeah, no big deal.
And immediately she said yes. There was just no hesitation at all.
Yeah.
Yes, we need to do that.
Yeah.
She goes, now make sure that there's some language in there that the bank will release us from that guarantee, that co-signing, when certain events occur.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, she can, it helps to be with somebody who had that orientation.
Oh,
which
for
I
sure.
can't say I had, in my prior to.
Yeah.
Well, certainly my last one. My first wife, she grew up with me, from the time we were 18. So she certainly understood that stuff more.
I think that, like Tara's highly support, like, dude, she's my number one champion supporter, but
you have been, she is, because you proved that you were right.
Well, true.
Okay.
That
paid off.
That does help, but I think
you have credibility with her.
I do think that there's it's difference of personalities. Like and I think that we all kind of go through that, right? Like an entrepreneur does have a really different personality. Like I'd have a hard time finding people that I can really relate to in life in a lot of times,
I understand.
especially in the business sense. Like,
yes,
I'm not a polished business person. I'm not a financially astute, all these different things. And so, but that's also the same thing in personal things too.
Yeah.
You know, so when it comes to family and business, you have to be, I feel like that I have to navigate quite a bit and kind of bring myself down not down, bring myself over to a realistic type of family environment. Like I have to see that, and that's my responsibility.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
If I don't, I'm way like, dude, I don't think about it.
Yeah,
ever.
That's terrible.
I love my girl.
No, listen, dude.
I absolutely, dude.
I know you do.
I love everyone.
And listen, and I've thought about that too. Sometimes I think, am I a failing as a father? Am I not understanding enough? Do I not spend enough time? With my children? All the things that I think we all are probably going to think at some point.
Yeah.
But then I also realized this. I had a conversation with my 18-year-old daughter recently. I don't know if I mentioned this on the show, but it was in the last couple weeks, and it was all about taking risk and getting ahead. And, she was just contrasting, like, her mom's a teacher and her mom's husband is a teacher.
Yeah.
And, they know what they're going to make every month, right?
They know when they're off.
Yeah,
they have all the rules.
And they're responsible, okay?
Yeah,
they're responsible people. It's not like they don't pay their bills or anything like that. But, at the same time, I'm sure there's some level of envy or thought, and not that it's even been expressed to me.
Yeah.
But like, why do they have so much?
Well, for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, they've got whatever. All right. And this sort of comes across to the kids. All right. And so, I had this conversation with my daughter. I guess the point I'm trying to make is I told her that the only way you're going to get ahead is if you take risks and you work really hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't have the job where I stop at 4:00 on Friday and then I'm just off until Monday and I don't even engage at all. Okay. You understand what I'm talking about. I said, that means, you gotta stay engaged. You're working. There's things that come up that you have to do. Right.
Yeah.
And there's chances that you have to take. You don't take any stupid chances.
Yeah.
You always think about what happens if this goes wrong. Can I afford to lose that? Or what's my plan B?
Yeah.
Bailout position. You're constantly making that decision. But at the same time, you're investing in things.
Yeah,
you're planting these seeds.
Everything's investing.
It's all about the investment. And when you have enough of those,
something's going to work out.
Something works. Something works. It's inevitable. The odds are in your favor.
Yeah.
Okay? This is what people don't understand. They think we take a lot of risks, but really we don't.
Actually, we're making a lot of investments.
We're minimizing risks by not being dependent on this one thing. Okay.
Love that statement. That is such a good topic because that's where a lot of the misunderstanding comes in. And I think here our listeners, we're talking about entrepreneurs, right? We're not talking anything about anybody else. Negative, pros, cons, doesn't matter.
No, exactly.
Trying to really understand ourselves in the way we think, because I'm with you 100%. Every single decision that I make every day, all day, I'm thinking of investing.
Right.
My time, any resources.
Yes.
Like people would call me lunatic because of my equipment that I bought. Guess what? They're assets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I already know that I'm not going to get 100%. It's not a graduating asset or whatever what I'm trying to say, an appreciating asset.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that skid steer is not going to return me back more money.
Right.
But what it will do is it will hold value. I get to use it. I save the money on the time of labor of stupid shit that I can do myself, like smoothing out freaking gravel.
Yeah.
How complicated is that? It's not. Right. But it also helps me relax. It reduces my stress, all these things, but I still have
productive.
Yeah. Yes, it's productive. It gets things done. And then I have something at the end. There's an asset still there. And by the way, it's freaking 0% financing.
Yeah, I know. Why shouldn't you take advantage
Exactly.
of that? Right?
But that's a good example. Like, but everything that I think about, everywhere I go, I'm thinking about that investment that's being made to minimize risk in case shit hits the fan, in case that bank goes out, in case this business sucks and fails, or that decision, or there's always somebody, there's always someone or something coming after you to take what you got.
I'm telling you, it's so true. It's funny you say that, because I was talking to my students about that. It's the first week of classes. And I said, don't get confused when it comes to debt that is for things that make money, as opposed to debt is for things that are just pure consumption.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, okay? I've had a ton of debt at one point in my life, but it was all stuff that was making me money. I mean, I don't finance my cars, okay? I mean, I'm just saying, not that I haven't ever.
Yeah.
As I have in the past. But I don't, because the cars don't make any money, right? I mean, it's just a cost.
Depreciate. Yeah, I mean, like if you got the cash, use the cash.
But if you can lease a vehicle for business, that's fine too, because you're just paying for it, whatever. But my point is, like, stuff that makes you money is worth going in the hole for.
Yeah.
Or could make you money. And there's a big distinction there.
Well, that's a good point, because debt, like even to the quote I gave in the very beginning, right? That debt, that conversation, you have one person, Rockefeller, the husband, who is continuously thinking about new ways to borrow more money, and then he has problems sleeping. There is a wife in that story that he didn't talk about, nobody talks about. There's a wife there that is not understanding what the hell and why he's doing what he's doing.
Yes.
But he's borrowing more, and you might have to borrow that debt to continue, like I did, use credit cards, whatever the hell it took, because it's not because I'm taking more risk in living in debt. It's because I'm investing in my business.
You got across the goal line, didn't you? That's the thing.
Exactly.
It got you across the goal line.
But that right there is
for the payday.
That's where the stress comes in between family and running your business, because
it really is.
How do you as an entrepreneur navigate that? Like it's not an easy thing. Like you're sitting there, in my case, I was investing in business. I'm borrowing more money, going more deeper in debt, ridiculous interest rates, but I've got to be able to eat. I've got to be able to do these things that I need to take care of the family, myself, and survive. And no one can understand that this business that I'm over here just drowning in, this, blah, 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 whatever it might be. And I'm always busy, like what we've been talking about. You're on your phone constantly. You never are off, but you're driving, that is not a normal scenario.
Yeah.
For what we've been taught, how the bankers have educated us on how you run your finances.
Yeah.
To what the scholastic.
Oh, you mean you don't always have 6 months worth of operating expenses in the bank account?
Right.
I mean, I
401ks and IRAs.
It's like, how naive is that?
Yeah. Insurance.
Who runs their business? Who's a true entrepreneur that's operating with 6 months worth of cash?
Dude,
in the bank.
I mean,
it just doesn't.
If I had 6 months worth of cash, I'd be like, what the hell am I going to spend that on to grow this thing even?
Exactly. You're going to reinvest that.
Exactly.
Because your return on invested capital has got to be high. You don't want to let's sit there and do nothing for you.
No, that's worthless money.
Yeah.
Unless I'm getting paid some ridiculous interest rate, but now I'm in the banking business, right? I'm in the lending business.
Hey, the bank, even the high interest rates, is nothing compared to what you'll make on your own business.
Oh, dude.
Your return on invested capital, people don't ever think about that. Return on equity, oh my God, return on invested capital is really what matters. But
yeah,
just looking at return on equity.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 13 years of Swag White, we averaged over 50%. Okay, for 13 years in a row. There's no interest rate that's going to pay you 50%.
No, that's
absolutely no.
But in all honesty, if you look at the best investments that have ever been made, it's always been businesses.
Sure.
I mean, like it's always the people that are making that taking that sacrifice and driving that as the entrepreneur.
But again, knowing, just for our listeners, they don't know you as well as I do. You always lived cheap. You did not have like needs for ego gratification or luxury or, status symbols.
No.
You just didn't spend your money like that.
No.
I mean, you were extremely thrifty all along.
Well, I was just putting it back in the business.
Yeah. And that's what it takes. Again, we're back to what it does it take to be successful. Balancing stuff with your family. And this is another thing, talking about family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's one way to be a good parent, right? Is you're always there. You take your kid to every soccer game. You never miss a birthday, whatever. I think I actually did a pretty good job on that.
Yeah. No,
Thanks to having my own business. That's one of the benefits.
Flexibility, man.
Flexibility, right? However, I'm sure I could have done a better job.
We all could have.
But what we also do as parents is provide an example. What's the value of that to our children?
It's the greatest.
The example of you can take on difficult things and succeed.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes hard work to get ahead.
Yep.
Okay. That's an example that I think our children need. And maybe they don't get that from all their other parents or our siblings or the culture, you know, or their friends. We provide that.
Agreed.
So we're not all bad, I guess, is what I'm saying.
No, not at all.
We're you know, we're
just
not
different.
Yeah, we're different. It's not about the money. It's not. The money is a byproduct.
Yep.
It's absolutely a byproduct. It's nice, but it's a byproduct. But we provide an example to our children, and we teach them that they can overcome obstacles and they can achieve whatever they set their mind to. And you don't have to know everything to jump into something.
No, you don't.
You know?
Just do it.
You do it. That's how you learn. Best way to learn, do it.
Just do it, man. And I mean, it's such a good point because, you know, I think that when I look at me as a father, you know, and how my contribution is, me spending time talking and giving them the real education of life is like my biggest contribution. I mean, it's not going to be any money. It's not going to be any assets or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I try to articulate this to the girls. I'm like, if I would have been told some of these things when I was in my teenage years.
My dad was not good with this stuff, honestly.
I don't think really any I don't think any parents really are, but my lesson learned is like, you know, girls, look, shit's hard. You have to, the hardest worker wins. Work faster, longer, smarter, or better. I don't know which one, but one of those four you should be able to think about it.
Maybe
any time.
2 or 3 of those four. You'll really be able to do it.
Exactly.
They're not mutually exclusive.
No, be a freaking champion. Quit complaining. You're the one that has to face that. It's no one's going to be here to save you is another great one. No one told me those things.
Well, I know. Unfortunately, I think, I don't know about your case, but, you know, my kids, particularly the younger ones, have had too much.
Yeah.
Okay, it's too easy.
It's too easy. That's a big problem.
The oldest one, you know, she was there during a lot of the struggle, and it's absolutely part of her personality. She totally reflects that.
Like, why are we as human beings trying to make it so easy for somebody else? Like there's some deserving reward for that, and there's not.
We want love.
We want love. We want it easy. We want it convenient. We want to be safe. All these things, we're trying to act like the fear doesn't really exist, but what the result of a human being with all that coddling is the worst type of person.
It's true. It really
There's no honor in them. You know, all those types of things. But I mean, from a family perspective, though, I think like what my experience has shown me is that you have to know that, like, and I messed up on this for the first 15, 20 years. I'm still messing up. But what I've learned is that I am a different thinking type person, which can drive conflict if I'm unaware of who I am.
Yeah.
And it's not about me trying to change who I am or be different or act different or come down from wherever my thinking is. Like, actually, that's why I'm loved, is because I'm thinking this goofy shit or whatever. Apparently goofy.
Yeah,
it's a little crazy a lot of times, right? You know? I mean, I don't understand it a lot of times myself.
Yeah.
But it's about being aware of that is, like, it's okay for me to participate, and I need to be more conscious because it's for it's for my partnership. Like my partner is, and my family supporting me and tolerating me a lot of things.
Right.
I need to be able to return that in some way, right? And I think that, I think that that's like, if you're unaware as an entrepreneur, you're going to find yourself in a lot of deep shit.
We need to be understanding of them.
Absolutely.
And they need to be understanding of us.
Yeah.
I
or
think.
tolerant of us, really, is what I think it comes down to.
Yeah.
Right?
There were a couple other things they wanted us to talk about here.
Oh, okay.
Involving family members in your business. I'm just going to speak about that for a minute because I always had a no nepotism policy the first time I owned my company.
Yes.
The second time around, you hired my oldest daughter as a part-time writer.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
She was getting her English
super
degree.
Talented. Freaking hard worker, dude.
She got that, and then then she ended up she had a real estate license and her horse farm, and then she went and got her MBA, and then she ended up working for the company full time in an MBA job. All right, and she did that for 10 years. A couple of years ago, she left and went full time into her own horse business. But my point of all that is, she felt bad when she wanted to leave, that she was like letting me down.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think for years, truthfully, I was so conscious of the fact she was my daughter, and I never wanted anybody to claim that she got something she didn't deserve. I probably did not treat her or reward her as highly as I should have.
Oh, sure.
I went the opposite way.
Yeah.
Some parents do the opposite. They take their kid's an idiot, not a hard worker. They promote them. They make them the boss of everybody. Everybody hates that person. Okay. They're a huge morale drain on the company. Maybe even they ruin the business.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. I really.
You were really you were constantly conscious of that.
Oh gosh.
Where it ends up probably like she did not.
Probably did her a disservice.
Yeah.
In truth. And I had when she wanted to leave and do her own thing, I'm like, absolutely. She thought I'd be up. I'm like, I'm not upset with you at all.
No.
This is your life. You have to do what you want to do. You're not letting me down in any way, shape, or form. But I do think parents need to think really hard before they bring their kids into their business.
Yeah. I've had a couple of my girls, work for podcast videos part-time,
Sure.
And but there is like what I've done in that situation is I'm like, you need to go interview with so and so. They'll hire you. They work with them 100%. Don't talk to me. I'll see you when I come walking in. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of space between you and them. Yeah, I think that's good
for sure.
Yeah, but your girls, they're not going to come in here and start like berating somebody else or act like, well, this is my dad's company and I'm superior.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, some people do that.
Yeah, that's bad.
And that's really bad. You can't let your kids do stuff like that. It's just very harmful to morale. I think a lot of the majority of businesses in this country are family businesses. They employ more than one family member.
Yeah.
In the business. It's like 90%. It'd blow your mind if you realize how high that percentage of businesses are family businesses in the United States.
Yeah.
But, I do think you need to be thinking hard about what those roles are. Are you putting people in management positions that are unequipped? What's the effect it has on your other employees? At the same time, you want to give your kid the chance to learn something from you and be involved with the business, but it's got to be an appropriate role.
Yeah.
And they've got to act appropriate.
Yep.
Or it's going to be a problem. The other issue is husbands and wives that work together in the business. And I've experienced that too, although really not until recently, but that can be very challenging.
Oh, sure.
And I think, what I've learned there about the people who've done that successfully, it always means that you have very distinct roles with no overlap.
You have to. And you have to let each other own those roles and trust.
Yes.
It's just like having a business partner.
Yes,
you can't have a business partner and not be trusting and agreeable and accommodating and listening and all that type of stuff. It's
Yeah, it really is. And the worst thing, again, I think is where somebody owns a business and then the spouse comes in and they're not involved with it, but then they start acting as if they're the boss.
Oh yeah, like they're making the decisions.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah, that would be
harmful.
toxic.
It is toxic.
Toxic. The other one is the emotional impact of entrepreneurship on family.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
the ups and downs.
the ups and downs.
I think it's the instability that we create
Sure.
is the problem.
Yeah. And I think that really just, I mean, like, you know, today it's much better than what it was. I don't know, man. Part of me is like, I mean, can I be honest?
Yeah, please. Of course.
I think
What, you not
I
always
think,
honest?
like, in my experience, like, in all honesty, as an entrepreneur, like,
Uh-huh.
I would recommend, and this is what I have done, and I still do.
Okay.
I don't talk about everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand. Because it puts a burden on people. They don't have the same
Yeah.
makeup you have.
Yeah. I don't walk in the house.
I've been guilty of that.
Listen.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I have too.
Yeah.
I've figured out that wasn't,
it
but I
causes
don't
a lot
walk
of
in the
problems.
house
Yeah.
carrying my business shit.
Yeah.
There's, and I don't, I mean, maybe that's a unique thing because I don't think that everybody does that, right? Like, I know
I've
that,
gotten better over the older I got. I definitely did that.
like,
younger.
like when I'm around them,
Yeah.
my family,
Yeah.
I really don't talk about it. I don't share things that are going on.
Yeah.
And if I'm asked about it, I'm also pretty cautious about how far I go into it.
Yeah. You're smart.
Well,
Really.
because I mean, like, there's a lot of things that can trigger, like, first of all, business, the reason why we are so busy and overwhelmed and constantly work is because there's always more shit that can be, that needs to be done. There's not enough time
Sure.
to do what we do. And so if you have a little problem, seemingly a little problem in business, like, there's not an easy one bullet point answer to it. Like, you just need to do A and B will happen. It's never that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're talking about your business or your family and you bring up anything like, well, we had to borrow $20,000 more, to cover payroll.
Mhm.
To you as an entrepreneur, like, you're okay because you know what you're doing, you're investing all the time, everything can be all right because you're going for it, right?
Right.
But to
They
your
don't
partner,
get No,
they're
I
like,
know.
holy shit.
I know.
You just borrowed more money for that. When is that going to, I mean, like, you open up the can.
They don't have the same frame of reference.
No, they can't.
They don't have the same personality. I've been guilty of that before. I mean, I think it's a fine line, though. At the same time,
Yeah.
you also need to try to educate them.
Of course, yeah.
If you totally insulate them and they have absolutely no sense
Yeah.
of any of this, then maybe they'll go waste resources, or maybe they
Yeah.
won't. Maybe they won't understand this when they get older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is. There's a fine line. I definitely was too far toward dumping everything out when I was younger, and I'd be much less inclined to do that today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
you got to navigate that balance.
But it is kind of funny, like there was something one of my kids said, and I'm like, no, we can't afford that. We're not going to spend our money like that. And then so we were out to dinner. I think it was Christmas Eve or whatever, and I had my extended family and brother and sister-in-law, and I can't remember who all was there. And I'm like, give me the bill for it. 'Cause I always get the one that gets the bill. I mean, how that is probably. As your kids get older, you'll find that's the case.
Oh, no.
It doesn't matter how many of them there are.
No, I get their bills for sure.
You're going to get the bill, and especially if you feel like
employees.
they're struggling to get by or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, and one of my kids like, Dad, are you sure we can afford that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I go, you don't want to say that here. First, and secondly, yes, we can.
That's true.
This $400 dinner, whatever, it's not going to break us. Don't worry about it.
It was the other thing for the reason that you're wanting to get it.
Right.
Right? There is no investment to what you're quoting. There is no return. At least, I mean, at least if I buy the family's dinner, there's investment into the family.
Right.
That's what I think.
No, it
I'm
is.
always thinking investment.
It is, but I'm just saying that's, though, illustrates kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like you say anything to them, they don't have the full frame of reference, and they don't really it could cause them undue stress.
Absolutely.
That you know, that, but at the same time, I do want my kids to be conscious of like not just wasting.
Oh, totally.
And thinking, oh my God, you know, it's just like, because again, I mean, I go back and I'm not trying to, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about any prior spouse I had or anything.
Sure.
But the danger with somebody who has zero entrepreneurial background and zero entrepreneurial history or education provided to them by their parents is that they don't understand. They think, you know, at least my experience was, they think you're either rich or you're poor. If you're rich, you buy anything you want anytime. And if you can't afford that, what are we poor? No, there's this huge swath in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You might be poor today, you may be rich tomorrow, you may be rich today and poor tomorrow. But the entrepreneur understands that and just you basically adapt and navigate that time period. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I love it whenever it's time for, you know, it's like survival
time to tighten up the
I love the tighten. I mean,
you do better with a deadline, don't you?
Oh God, dude. Yeah. I'm the worst. I mean,
I understand that.
If you know, I have to know that meeting time and then I work right before, but I do really good work. You know, it's like, holy shit.
Work under pressure.
Dude, I do, man. I'm like, holy shit, I got a lot of shit done, you know? Otherwise, I'm just kind of, you know, I can flounder.
I understand. Totally. I had our editor, this Weig letter, say to me last week, it's like, you know, I said, I'm sorry this is late. I got it to her at like 1 in the afternoon instead of like 8 in the morning or 9, which I typically would. She goes, you know, if you ever have a problem, you can't get this done, you know, you can tell me and I'll pull out we'll dust off an old article or whatever. And I said, it's not going to happen. I will get it done. I will always get it done unless I'm like dead or sick.
Yeah, right.
Even if I'm sick, I'll probably get it done.
Dude, I've seen you so sick. I was thinking about the other day. We went up to, I can't remember where we were, Chicago. We went to Chicago for that acquisition thing a long time ago. And when we fly from there to there from Northwest Arkansas, you're like, you know, like, man, I don't feel too good. You know, by that evening, when you were so freaking sick.
I don't even remember this.
I know you don't. But we were at the hotel. And like dude, you were down at like 8 o'clock that night. And I mean, and then the next morning we had to be there at like, you know, 6 a.m. or whatever. It's for early in the morning. And I mean, dude, you were so incredibly sick. Like you had full blown freaking head flu, but you powered through, dude. It was so impressive. Like you were up.
I hope I didn't get everybody else.
I mean, you probably did.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, that was pre-COVID. This was before we were all aware of how people can get sick from each other.
No kidding.
All right,
I'm sorry if I did that, but
no. I mean, I thought it was beautiful.
But anyway, it's a tricky path we have to navigate. With our families, it is.
It's just sensitive, right? And I think that you, as the entrepreneur, being the person you are, if you're a business owner, if you never started one, you're about to start one. You need to recognize the sensitivity of that, and cooperate and work through that. Like, you can't be ignorant of it. That's the big thing. I was ignorant as shit about it, and how I was behaving and how I think in comparison.
And I do think if you're going to have a good relationship with your spouse, you do need to let them know when you're taking risks or making commitments that could impact them. I mean, I think it's only fair.
Oh, no, totally.
You know?
Yeah, what obviously
it just is.
Yeah, hopefully, like, I'm always afraid during this show that I'll say some shit that people, won't completely understand.
Yeah, misinterpret.
For sure. Like, I mean, I absolutely talk to my spouse. I've learned to even become, and I'm still getting better, but become even more transparent upfront about things that, and mainly because I've recognized, like, she is a really excellent, she has great perspective. 100%. And there's been so many times I should have listened, and I'm trying to
I feel the
listen
same way about
more.
mine.
I mean, it's wonderful.
Such good instincts about character.
Oh, dude.
Character judgment.
Yeah.
Is beyond, always better than mine.
100%.
More skeptical. I mean, and again, I hate to generalize about women. All right. People will be upset with me when I say this.
Yeah.
They are more skeptical, I think, because they have been hit on, for lack of a better way to describe it.
Yeah.
And they're constantly making that judgment, that discrimination when they're young.
They have to be discerning.
Exactly. They have to be discerning.
I was never hit on.
I know, me neither. I mean, it was like,
if I was, I would have never known it. You know?
No, but that's
a good point. They get approached.
Yes, they get approached, and they've got to be discerning. I think that's a very good word, and that generally makes them better judges of character than men.
100%.
Okay,
100%. Yeah, because there's been times where my wife's been like, I don't like him.
Oh, I know. My wife's the same way.
I do not like
I'm not
him.
gonna. There was somebody that
I don't think he's cool.
There was somebody we both know whose name I won't mention here, but my wife said, "Oh my God, don't ever leave me in a room with that person alone." Terrible. Okay.
And I'm totally blind to it.
Evil. Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I'm like, I thought he was okay.
He's cool as hell, man.
He's okay.
We're talking about going in business together.
My ex-wife too. I remember one guy came to visit me. He was the chairman of this company, and he is pretty much a degenerate, I will admit. And my wife said to me afterwards, she said, "Don't ever bring that guy back in our house again."
Wow.
Okay. Very successful guy.
Yeah.
You. Okay.
And you want him back in the house.
I don't know if I wanted him back in the house, but it's like, don't ever bring that guy in the house again.
Well, I mean, not after she said that.
Yeah.
But you would want it. I mean, like, you know, because you're trying to do business.
Yeah. I was trying to help him out. Yeah, I mean, sometimes our spouses are good judges of character, and we do need to listen to them. And,
absolutely.
And they're intelligent, and they see things differently than we do, and that's valuable insight.
I love it. And it helps bolster my confidence, too, in a lot of ways, man. I mean,
it does. You're right.
I mean, like, especially, like, you know, if I have an idea and I tell it to her and she's got some skepticism or some combative dialogue against it. Yeah, not, you know, but, or I guess, what would you say, some, you know, just some response.
Skepticism.
Challenging. A little challenging.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get pissed off at first because my idea is always fantastic.
No,
right?
But there's value in that, right?
But then I realize after I'm like,
yeah,
damn, that is really great. And then now I'm balanced and I make great decisions. And then I have confidence when I walk up there and I go, this is a decision. I'm 100% decisive about it. I feel very good.
And if it doesn't work out, you can always say, well, you told me to do
exactly. This is not my fault, which comes into our pure narcissism, you know?
No, it's true. It's true. Well,
good show.
It is a good show. We got to wrap it up.
I feel better about myself and my family life.
Wait, good. I'm glad you do. We need to wrap it up. I got to move on to my next. I've got such a busy day today.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Guess you don't want to spend any more time with me?
I'd love to spend time with you, but I can't. I got a 10:45 a.m. Zoom call I got to get on.
Okay.
Got to get back home. So it's been great being with you today. This has been another fun episode of Big Talk about
that small ass
business.
Thank you, people.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Big Talk about small business. If you have any questions or ideas for upcoming shows, be sure to head over to our website, www.bigtalkaboutsmallbusiness.com, and click on the Ask the Host button for the chance to have your questions answered on the show. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn at Big Talk About Small Business. And be sure to head over to our website to read articles, browse episodes, and ask questions about upcoming shows.